How are you? That started off, hey Ryan Roy, how are you doing? It's so nice to see you. I didn't even get a chance to say hey replay viewer, hi replay viewer, hey Ryan Roy. Oh my gosh, how are you doing? I feel so good to see you. What a treat. Thank you for those purple hearts. Yes. Oh, it's so nice to see you. Thank you for inviting your followers. That really means a lot to me. I appreciate you doing that. I know you actually don't have to, but I thank you so much for that. That means a lot to me. It means I have to bring it. So, hello. I will just go ahead and get started. My name is Coach Nachi. I am your world-class personal development coach, speaker, and life enthusiast, called to serve those who want to live more like their unique selves right now, this minute, right now. Not in 2 weeks, not on January 1st. No, none of that. Not on Monday, but right now, this minute, right now. Today, what I really want to go into is almost, not necessarily a follow-up, but a couple of scopes ago, I shared with you a story from the Bible that I never understood, but I recently began to understand. It was about this master that had left some money to his servants, and some of them doubled the money that he had given them, and one of them just buried the money that he had been given. Hey Gary, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Wonderful interview yesterday. It was amazing to get to know you even more. So the one guy just straight up buried his gift. Hey, hi. Hi, Joy. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Pleasure to meet you, Joy. Thanks for coming through. Oh my goodness. Hi. Hi, Joy. My Gary. So this guy buried his money that his master had given him. Now, he didn't even try. He didn't even go out there and try to do something with this money. I never understood the story because I thought the punishment was thank you so much for sharing, Gary. Really appreciate that. I thought the punishment was too much. Like, he cast him out, took all his money. But when I changed the meaning from money to, thank you for inviting your followers, Gary, I really appreciate it. When I changed out the money for gift, the gift that we have inside of us, if you don't use it, if you don't give it to the world, if you don't utilize it, if you don't move forward with it in some sort of way, what kind of sense does that make? This guy buried his gift. He straight up was like, oh, look at this thing. No, I'm going to bury it. No one else is going to see it. I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm going to just leave it over there. And that's not okay. That's not okay. What we didn't really talk about in that scope was how to move forward from that. How, even though this is something that we honestly absolutely share yourself, exactly what Ryan Roy said, even though we all kind of go through this, I'm not gonna lie, I go through it as well. When something happens, you kind of, when you have a dream, when you have something inside of you that wants to come out, that wants to bust out, you get nervous, you get scared. It's something that you haven't done before, that specific thing. So how do you move forward? How do you unbury it and actually take steps that kind of matter? Or that really do matter, that makes sense to you and that makes sense for what it is that you're doing. The title of this scope, that was an intro, the title of this scope is A Millimeter Shift Can Make All the Difference. One of my favorite coaches, and he is actually romance relationship coach. I adore him. I love him. He is amazing. His name is Matthew Hussey. Get on that train. He speaks mostly to ladies, but he is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for those hearts, Gary. Really appreciate you. So what he's the one who I heard this phrase from originally, and many other people use it. Companies have begun from it, and it's a powerful phrase, right? A millimeter shift can make all the difference. I looked it up. A millimeter shift is that, hey, BetSetter83, how are you? A millimeter shift is actually like 0.039 inches. To be rounded up, let's call it 0.04 inches. An inch is about the size of my thumb, I think, right? That's the rule of thumb. Rule of thumb. That's the rule of thumb. An inch is about, the length of your thumb. What is 0.04 of this? Millimeters are super tiny. I think that's probably like, do you see this pen? I did. I was like, what is that really? That is about the size of a millimeter, maybe? I'm not not sure. Measurements are not my friend. Thanks for that, Gary. I was like, what is that? Like, I need to know so I can relate it to people who use inches. This much. Thanks for coming back, Joy. Well, I'm happy being you. Hey, fun fan woman. Hey, Betsetter. Welcome back. I hope the connection isn't funky. This is what almost like a millimeter might look like. Super tiny. Hey, MW fan. What is your name, fun fan woman? What's your name? I want to call you out by name. That's it. If you made this much of change, sometimes we really disregard how tiny changes can have the biggest big beautiful heart. Is that your name? Big beautiful heart? I bet you do have a big beautiful heart though. That's nice. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Sometimes we really underestimate how the power of something small can just move mountains, let me say. For instance, when you think about a small gesture, when you think about when someone does something for you and you send them a text, it takes, 2 minutes? Not even? Thank you so much for inviting your followers. I really appreciate that. Fun fan woman, big beautiful heart. I appreciate you doing that. Thank you. It means a lot to me. When you send someone that, hey, Betsetter, I hope the connection is all right. When you send someone that text that says, hey, I appreciate you doing this thing. Hey, Montreal King, how are you? Thank you for sharing on Twitter, too. Wow, thank you so much. When you send someone that text saying, hey, I appreciate you. When you send someone that email saying, hey, I saw this video that you did. I really loved it. It's something that takes no time out of your day. A super millimeter shift. Sometimes when I do these things, I forget that I did them, and I'll get an email from someone and be like, oh, what is this? And they'll say, oh, thank you. I really needed that, XYZ. And I'm like, what did I do? Scroll down. Oh, right. I sent them an email. Something so small, so tiny, has mass effect. What's another example? Especially when it comes to you. So let's say you're dieting, right? Let's say you're trying to live a healthier life. I was talking about carb cycling and kicking carbs and this, that, and hey, loved 777. Back in October. October was Body Honor Month. It's my birth month, and I really wanted to honor the body, the vessel that carries me. And I wanted to honor it, right? So what I was doing was carb cycling, getting into the carb cycling mode. If you, a millimeter shift as I see it when it comes to someone who loves rice, thanks for those brown hearts. I appreciate them coming through. Thank you. What that looks like could be, say you love fries. I love fries. When you're ordering your food, maybe eating half your fries or eating a third of your fries as opposed to all the fries. Maybe ordering a small instead of a medium. Maybe ordering a medium instead of a large. Maybe cutting your burger in half and leaving the rest for later. Maybe it means taking the excess, like just being nitpicky with your burger and cutting the excess bun off, right? Any of that. It could mean any of these things. When it comes to, what else? When it comes to being more relaxed, if you're someone who stresses out a lot, if you're someone who's always on the go, thanks for coming back, Joy. You can always put reminders in your phone, something that takes no time. Hey, Ask Mama Louise, how are you? Take your phone into the toilet with you. Right? When you're on the toilet doing your business, put in some reminders in your phone to say, hey, do this, that, and the other. Hey, Mama Louise, how are you doing? Put some reminders in your phone. Thank you for those blue hearts. I appreciate them. Little things. Honestly, you know what you're going for in your life. You know what you're going for in your life. If you're comfortable with it, tap it in the chat stream, and we can come up with something small, a millimeter shift. Thank you for sharing on Twitter, Mama Louise. Thank you. I appreciate you doing that. Wow. Hey, Total Believer 79, how you doing? So a millimeter shift really does make a difference because you'd be surprised how that millimeter shift, once you realize, hey, Total Believer, what's your name? How are you doing? Thank you for inviting your followers. My goodness, so much love today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. A millimeter shift on Periscope could be, oh, someone who's afraid of periscoping. Hey, Ladybug Cafe Broom, how are you? Hey, Karen. Okay, Karen, Total Believer 79. The Chosen 713. Y'all are coming through. Thank you for coming in. So a millimeter shift, something that we can all connect with is Periscope. Let's say you want to be, may have to catch the replay. That's totally fine, Joy. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you. on Periscope. Some people want to be scoping. Some people are just viewers. But for those who want to transition from viewer into scoper, thanks for finding your phone. Yo, Bombshell Alchemist, how are you? So, getting sidetracked. I'm so sorry. Periscope could be sending a private message to someone that you actually know on Periscope. Hey, Tina Marie. Hey, Bombshell, how are you? What is your name? I can call you Bombshell, I don't mind. Sending a private message to someone on Periscope could be a really great way to just kind of break your Periscope, to break your Periscope fear. I just buy a little bit. It's Mimi. I have a friend called Mimi. I adore her. I'm so glad I have another Mimi in my life. Hey, Bombshell Mimi, how you doing? Sending a private message to someone, or it's totally fine. What's another way? What's another way? Doing a scope where you don't have the chats on. Doing a scope where you don't, maybe you're scoping to a super private scope with yourself. Doing a scope at the time when you don't think anybody will be on. Making a dummy account and scoping when you have no followers and no one can possibly find you, just talking to a camera. Even further still, yes, Mama Louise says yes. Hey, Bill Cheshire Jr., how are you? Or better still, how I got into scoping was I make videos anyway for Live Like You Now. By the way, to all the new people coming in, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Coach Nachi. I am your world-class personal development coach, speaker, and life enthusiast, called to serve those who want to live more like their unique selves right now. Not in 2 weeks, not on Monday, but right now. I believe we're intended to live joyfully, fully human, and feeling at home in ourselves and our lives. That is what I believe we're intended to feel. Fully human means feeling fully human, feeling that fear, feeling that anger, feeling that joy, feeling that happiness, feeling that hunger, like everything fully human, and using it constructively. If you're angry, I don't think you should go out and do some mad stuff. No. Go find a safe place and be angry in that safe space. If you're sad, baby, feel that sadness, but know that you don't live there. You don't live in anger. You don't live in misery. You live in joy. I believe we're intended to live joyfully, fully human, and feeling at home in ourselves and our lives. I am your world-class coach, Coach Nachi. Thank you so much for coming through and pumping those hearts. I saw a whole bunch of affirmations in the chat stream resonating with what I was saying, and I appreciate you letting me know that you ride with that message. Thank you. It's always good to know that you are not alone. My website is Live Like You Now. This is not a game. I do believe we should live life, be alive, and live it, and you should live like you. Not like a mimic of somebody else, not like you see the TV telling you to live, not like how you saw your mama and papa living back in the day. No, live like you now, because you have your own uniqueness inside of you, and that's the best way to live. But you gotta get to know yourself. And when you know yourself, you know what kind of millimeter shifts you can make. Hey, Terry, how are you? Those millimeter shifts. So we were talking about a millimeter shift in Periscope. Recording yourself on your own phone. Just speaking into your camera where it's literally just you. Unless the NSA or whomever decides to hack into your phone, it's just you. Hey, 25J, how are you? It's just you and your phone. It's literally just you. I have Snapchat, so I'm used to talking to a phone. Bye. Thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate you being here. I have Snapchat, so I do this. I used to be on radio, so I'm okay with talking. But Periscope for me was about the control. But millimeter shifts. Welcome back, Bombshell Activist Mimi. Welcome back. Millimeter shifts, super millimeter shifts. So what is it for you? In your life, there is something that's going on that you want to be doing. There's something in your life that you've been holding back from, something that you haven't done because you're too scared, or something that you haven't done because you don't think you're fully qualified, or something you haven't done because you're like, no, maybe not. I'm going to just bury this. It's fine. I'm not going to do it. It's okay. Maybe I'll do it next week, next year. If it's something you can do now, what is a millimeter shift that you can do right now? A millimeter is 0.04 inches. This is about an inch. I'm not even asking you to move this much. This is an inch. It's a whole inch. I'm asking you to move about this much. Look. You see that? That little pin? What is a millimeter shift you could make? An example that I gave earlier was when someone does something nice for you, someone does something good. Mama Louise says yes. That's a lot. That's a lot. when someone does something nice to you, it's nice for you. It's not too difficult to send a text to say thank you so much for that. It was a pleasure meeting you. Hey, Real James, how are you? I know you're a busy man. How you doing, man? It's nice to see you here. It doesn't hurt you to. It doesn't take too much time to send a thank you. It doesn't take too much time to say, hey, how are you doing? It doesn't take too much time to make these tiny gestures, but they move mountains. It's great to see you, James. Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you being here. It doesn't take much. So when it comes to you and your dream, you're with yourself all the time. You can do something for yourself. Refrain from grounding random people. Ooh. 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 Gary's got the fire today. Refrain from grounding random people. So, a millimeter shift. A millimeter shift. A millimeter shift. A millimeter shift. It's tiny. It's very tiny. Gary comes with the gold. He's gold written. He's got a lot of knowledge up in there. I'm excited for that book. And millimeter shift is super small. It's really tiny. I'm not asking you to move mountains now, but a millimeter shift, you'd be surprised at how you could move mountains. Refrain from grounding random people. I love that. That's your shift. Yes, you are so busy. Sometimes it really is nice to just kind of cut that out. Yeah, I do know. So, a millimeter shift, guys, is really tiny. I'm going to keep saying it. A millimeter shift is really tiny. Do not bury your coin. And if you do bury your coin for safekeeping, your gift, right? I gave an example of the story from the Bible where there were three servants. Master leaves 5 bags, 2 bags, 1 bag. The other people mostly multiplied their bags, two times. 5 for 5, 2 for 2. This one guy was so afraid that he just buried his coin. Don't bury your coin. But if you are going to bury your coin, if you have buried your coin, if you have buried your gift, your light, your skills, your talents, what can you do to make you feel more comfortable, to remove the dirt a little bit from the buried coin? What can you do out there? Gary talks about research. I love planning. Give me a good planner. Give me a good calendar. I make my own calendars. That's how deep I am into planning. Thank you so much for those hearts, by the way, for pumping them through. I really, really appreciate the whole rainbow of colors. It kind of matches my dress. I love research. So if you are burying your gift, at least go out there. The millimeter shift could be explore, see what it looks like out there. But don't get too bogged down by, oh, these other people are doing my thing. These other people are doing it better. That's for the birds. That is for the birds. I'm gonna have a scope talking about how if you've noticed, a lot of times, especially when it comes to my clients, Mama Louise, you are on it. Yes, Mama Louise, I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you after the scope, Mama Louise. I love it. Car dealerships. James, I think you work in a car dealership, right? Or you work with cars. Have you all noticed how when you're driving down, you see car dealership? It's like 6 rows of dealership on each side. I was looking out for it, Terry. I was looking out for your scope, and I was like, where is she? What happened? So I'm hoping to catch you again. Please keep trying. Hey Tina, welcome back, boo. Annyeong. Dealership after dealership after dealership on both sides. And thank you so much for sharing, Tina. I really appreciate you doing that. On both sides. Now, Tina. I mean Terry. Terry, come on. I didn't feel confident in my first scope either, or my second scope, or my third scope, or my fourth scope. But it comes. You will do just fine. You will do so amazing. You will do just fine. Just press that red button, pop that cherry, put it out there. Hey, Afroscope TV, how y'all doing? It's a dress. Hey, Masha, how are you? Hey, Afroscope TV, thanks for coming through. So, what was I talking about? Your gift, right? A lot of the times I've had clients who will eventually, once we break it down, the impact is what scares them. They're afraid of their gift being, excuses, but I got you. I'm on you. We're going to do this. Their excuse, not their excuse, but their fear is that there's other people doing what I'm doing. For instance, I'm a coach. Do you know how many coaches there are? There are a lot of coaches. I am told that the field is oversaturated. This is what I'm told. You know what I do with that? That is for the birds. Because, like the dealerships, there are dealerships on both sides of the street. There's dealership, 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 dealership. When you're looking for a car, do you go to the first dealership and say, this is where I want to be? Sometimes. But guess what? There are times when you go to the next dealership and the next one. And if you're so keen on finding that one specific car, you will, if it's a Toyota, let's say, you will find quite a few. James, you know it. James, yes, you know there's a lot. No, but they ain't but one you, Coach Nachi. They're exactly that. Thanks, Gary. Segueing into my point. You will find that you will try to find the car that fits you. Not just any car that they try to push on you, not just the cheapest car, not just the most expensive car, not just the most pretty, like, you will find the car that feels right, the car that you can see it, yourself in it, the car that is, like, that's yours. That's the same thing in your field. In my field, there's so many coaches. Do I care? Sometimes I'm like, oh dear. And then I'm like, no, nobody's saying the things that I'm saying. No one's saying the things that I'm saying in the way that I'm saying. No one can do me as best as I can do me, just like Gary said. I'm your world-class coach, speaker, and life enthusiast, Coach Nachi, called to serve those who want to live more like themselves now. Right now, this minute right now, I believe we're intended to live joyfully, fully human, and feeling at home in ourselves and our lives. I don't believe we should be mimics of any other person out there but ourselves, because we're the only ones. We're the sperm that broke that egg out of millions of them. So when it comes to your gift, your talent, your coin, don't bury it. What are you doing? There's too many people doing what I'm doing. There's billions of scopers out, not billions. There's a lot of scopers out there. I have many people in this room right now. Like, even if I had 2 people in this room, you chose me. You chose to spend your time with me. You chose to share me with your people. What? I do not take that for granted. Your gift, just like those dealerships, there's many people out there operating in a similar field. Similar field. But if you don't put yourself out there, the person who's looking for you, just like that person looking for that perfect car, they can't find you because you haven't put the beacon out. People are looking for you. Thankful for today. Mimi Bombshell says she's thankful for me today. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. There are people looking for you. There are people looking for your gift. There are people looking for your gift. There are people looking for your gift. There are people looking for that Toyota, for that Benz, that perfect, whatever. They will go from Toyota dealership to Toyota dealership. Hey, Mr. Proctor, how you doing? Toyota dealership to dealership. My brother finding his car. We drove to Wisconsin. We live in Illinois. That was like 2 hours drive to get his car. His car. Because that was his car. You think we don't have dealerships in Illinois for his car? We drove to Wisconsin. Your people who want your gift, who want what you have specifically, baby, they will come for you. But if you don't put yourself out there, if you bury your coin, what are we doing? I'm good, Mr. Proctor. Thank you so much for asking. If you don't put your gift out there, if you don't build that dealership, if you don't put your flag up and risk it, putting yourself out there, what? Come on. I don't know what else I can say. Come on. A millimeter shift can make all the difference. Upon Cicero Avenue, yes, there's so many dealerships. And James knows about this life, but he still makes them sales, baby. He still comes through. He gives people their dream cars or the car that's going to get them to their dreamness. James knows about that life. There's so many. And yet, he still makes it, which is amazing. It's about you and what you offer. Even in the dealerships, there's so many salesmen, but people choose James because he knows what he's doing. People choose Gary because he knows what he's doing. Excuse me. People choose each of you because you know what you're doing. People will be coming after you saying, I need to work with you, I need to work with you, because they need to work with you. That they think you're their person. You gotta come through. You have to don't bury your gift. But it can be scary doing something that you haven't done before. But again, right? Millimeter shift. A millimeter shift. This is an inch about. This is about an inch. All I'm asking you to do is make a millimeter shift. 0.04 of an inch. Can you do that? Can you make a millimeter shift? Can you tell somebody, can't stay in the boat, must get out of the boat and into your calling, not bury your talent. James. The James are on fire today. So this is really what I wanted to talk with you about today. Making a millimeter shift, because burying your gift is not new. There's a lot of people who've buried their gifts. There's a lot of people who are living in their gift who used to bury their gift. This is not new, and you're not alone in that if you have buried your gift. It's not new information. You're not alone, is what I mean to say. You're not alone in that. However, before the master comes, baby, leave your gift. Leave your gift so it can flourish. Do not take praise Jesus forever. I agree, personally. Before you are taken out of this earth, before you leave this earth, do not leave with your gifts. There are people I know who've taken their lives with their gifts, their resourcefulness, their talents, their skills, and the world has suffered, in my opinion. People who I deeply care for, gone. That's an extreme one. But hey, Liz Whitney 20, how are you? How are you doing? Thanks for coming through. Don't leave without your gift in it. There are people who've, accidentally their lives have gone. That makes me so angry when I think of natural disasters and like all the things that happen in the world. I'm just like, that's not okay. All those gifts, 1,000 hearts. Go ahead, Mr. Proctor, pump them out. Thank you. All those people, it really breaks my heart because all those gifts and talents are gone. You are here, you're living, you're breathing. Just do something, a millimeter shift. I'm just asking you to do the tiniest thing. The tiniest thing. What does that look like? Telling a friend. Keep me accountable. Telling Coach Nachi, because I'm going to be on you. I almost swore. I'm going to be on your butt. I'm coming for you. You have to do it. You tell me you're going to do something, I'm going to make sure that if you're not doing it, it's for the right reasons. Not for reasons that even I can point out in myself. So, millimeter shift. Once again, to close off, I am your world-class coach, Coach Nachi. Whew, y'all. Speaker, life enthusiast, called to serve those who want to live more like their unique selves today, right now. I don't believe we have to wait. I really don't believe we have to wait. A millimeter shift honestly could be just making the decision, I'm going to do this. Boom. You just say, I'm going to do this. And you keep saying it every day until you start to believe and you start doing. You automatically move in that direction. Millimeter shift could be writing a tweet saying I'm going to do it. Thanks, Genetics Gal. I love that you're here. I don't know why I don't follow you. I'm going to have to follow you at the end of this. Thank you. I appreciate that one. Thank you so much for that, James. Thank you. Aw. A millimeter shift could be tweeting it. Millimeter shift could be posting it on Facebook. A millimeter shift could be telling someone, introducing yourself. I haven't scoped in a week, but I'll try to get back on. I will be waiting for it. I'm definitely following. A millimeter shift is a tiny shift that's going to get you closer to where you're going. Now, to end, if you're someone who's been doing millimeter shifts for ages, it's time to take some steps. Not inches, but like a whole foot. It's time to get it popping. Okay? So this is me. On my website, I have 5 highly effective questions to finding your unique why. For extreme motivation, continuous focus, and finding your why. I believe in order to live like you have to know you. And when you know you make moves that matter for you. A millimeter shift, you have to know what a millimeter shift is for you, what counts as a millimeter shift. Everything that I mentioned, those are just ideas that make sense for me. My pastor in MPS I know is from Zambia. Shut up! Small world! That's awesome! I'm Zambia. That's awesome! Come through, James. It's amazing. Wow, know you. When you know you, you can make moves that matter for you. Doesn't make sense to make moves that matter for Kim K or for me even. Make moves that matter for you. So my highly effective questions are really good. I really adore them. I have a crush on my questions. They're amazing. Every time I look at them, I smile and blush because I'm like, oh, questions. He is a neat man of God. No, I believe it. I believe it. Assumptions are amazing. So if that's helpful for you, it's here. All I ask is access to your internet home, your email, and you see the questions. If you don't like them, or if you're like, blah, 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 you can unsubscribe. No harm, no foul. If you do like them, the subsequent emails are me explaining each question, because each question is a star question. They are umbrella questions, and they go deeper than they actually look. I adore these questions. I ride for these questions, and I am so excited to always share them with anybody who will listen and is interested. Thank you for those hearts. Gary, Naturalist, Mr. Proctor, James, Genetic Scal. Who else is in here? I can't actually see the other people who are in here. Masha? Allison? I saw something there. So if you are new, thank you. If you are new and you have never followed or you don't follow, I would love it if you followed, and so we keep this momentum going. I am here for you. If you haven't shared yet, I remembered it. I watch my scopes over and over and over again. That's part of me learning to be a better scoper and to better serve you. I like to see course correct, and I'm also just like really obsessed. I'm a recovering perfectionist, so I like to rewatch my scopes. Yes, super fan. Mr. Proctor, you always come with it. I love it. So I see the chats and I'm like, okay, Masha, and I try to memorize who it is. How do you go back to them? The scopes, I just when in my broadcast, I go into broadcast and I watch this previously, or I'll type it in on the web and watch on the web while I'm doing some work, because obsession can take you away from what you need to be actually doing. This is it. This is me. Thank you so much for sticking through. This is probably going to be my thumbnail. Thank you for coming in. Please go back to your daily lives. Use that millimeter shift to make a difference. And keep growing. Yeah? Hit the replay, right? Yes. Hit the replay. Yeah. I like my replays. Can't wait to see you again. Thank you, Mr. Proctor. I appreciate you coming through and pumping those hearts. And those blue hearts, I really appreciate them all. Y'all, all these hearts and all the shares, I wholly appreciate them. Like, honestly. I know what it is to share me out or someone out to your people. So it means a lot. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go because I know y'all are being polite. So thank you for being here. And I appreciate you. And have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you, James. I like you participating and being here. I'm going to follow you too so I know when you pop in.